Hey, welcome back to How to Barbecue Right. I'm Malcolm Reed. Today I'm going to show you how I make something special, a Boudin King Cake. Now, King Cakes traditionally are a sweet dessert, even great for breakfast. They got the icing on it, filled with good stuff, but typically they're really sweet. Well, I'm going to flip the script and do a savory version. I've got some of my favorite food groups going in. We got meat, cheese, carbs. You know it's going to be good. Boudin sausage, crawfish tails. Laissez les bon temps rouler. Let's get to cooking, y'all. Today I've got some pork Boudin sausage. Now, Boudin is a rice sausage. That means it's got meat in there, it's got rice, it's got some other seasoning and vegetables. So the first thing I'm gonna do to this Boudin sausage is get it out of this casing. It's got a natural pork casing to it, and it can be tough when it's cooked. And I don't want that inside my king cake. I want all those flavors to meld together. I don't want anything to be a barrier and hold it back or tough to chew on. It's real easy, just cut a little split on it and wrap it out. Now, Boudin sausage is firm enough to stay together. If you heat it up too much, it can fall apart, but we're not gonna do that today. And y'all, if you've never had Boudin, I like to eat it smoked a little bit on a cracker with some hot sauce. Now, I've got my Grilla grill running at 350 degrees today. I'm gonna hold it there the whole time. You could use whatever kind of pellets you want when you're smoking this. You could use whatever kind of grill. You can even do it in the oven. What I'm gonna do is put these Boudin links on the grill. I just wanna warm them up on the smoker a little bit, give them a little bit of a head start before we put them in the king cake. This is gonna help them cook all the way through. It's gonna make my job a little bit easier. Now, while that Boudin's getting happy on the smoker, I'm gonna show you how I make this crawfish cream cheese mixture that's going inside the king cake. Starting with the block of room temperature cream cheese. Now, you need about ½ a pound of crawfish tails. Now, these crawfish tails are fully cooked. You can eat these jokers right now, but we're gonna take them up to another level by seasoning them up, put them inside this king cake. I'm gonna add a little bit of green onion in here, give us a little pop of color, little extra flavor. And y'all know I gotta season everything. So we're putting some of my Cajun season, that King Craw. And don't be shy, I like to season everything pretty heavily. That looks good. If I had to guess, that's about a tablespoon, y'all. And then I'm gonna hit it with a little bit of hot sauce. You can use your favorite Cajun season, your favorite hot sauce. You don't wanna get it too wet though, so just use, a couple good shakes of that hot sauce. And then just fork everything together. And we're kind of just folding it. You don't wanna break up the tails too much, but you want it mixed pretty good. All right, that looks mixed up right there. It's good enough to eat like this, y'all. You can warm that up in the smoker, eat it with some chips or crackers, shoot, that'd be good. Now let me show you how we're gonna assemble this king cake. Now, I'm using these Pillsbury buttery flaky crescent rolls today. I did these at deer camp last week. It turned out excellent. So I'm gonna use them again in this version. Hit them on the thing and let them explode. So now I'm just unrolling these crescent roll triangles, and we're just forming them around our sheet pan here, kind of in a reef shape. Sometimes the dough tears a little, that's okay. It ain't gotta be perfect, but what we want is to keep that form going so we can stuff it and roll it all up. So I've got the crescent roll dough all laid out on top of the butcher paper over the pan. Always use that butcher paper because the dough doesn't stick to it. It makes it easy to transfer it to the grill, and when I'm serving it, I can cut it right on that paper. So now we're ready to add our crawfish cream cheese mixture to our pastry. I'm just gonna take it and just kind of put a little trail of it all the way around. Doesn't have to be perfect. You just wanna kind of keep it in the middle. We got our heated up Boudin here. We're just gonna start connecting here. And since I got it out of the casing, look at that. I can make a perfect little circle. And since I got a little leftover bite, little hot sauce, little warm Boudin. Oh yeah. Now all we gotta do is start folding up our crescent roll dough and just pick a point. We just want to close it up over it. You can stretch it a little bit, but remember, this is kind of rustic. There ain't no right or wrong way to do it, but we kind of got them overlapped, so it shouldn't be too hard. But you can see all the segments, it's kind of layered like a king cake is supposed to be. And you can see I got some little cracks in it. I got some crevices for that cheese to ooze as it heats up, but it looks great right now. All we gotta do is cook it. All right, that Silverbac setting on 350. We're just ready to slide it in. We're gonna let the grill do its thing. It's gonna take about 45 minutes. We want it to be golden brown. Now, while that king cake's cooking, I'm gonna show y'all something real special. A crawfish cheese dip that we're gonna use to top this king cake once it comes off the pit. So I got a little olive oil going in my iron skillet here. And we're just gonna saute up some vegetables for this crawfish cheese dip. You gotta have a little of that onion, red bell pepper. We'll let that go just a couple minutes here. Cajun flavor's gotta have some bell pepper and onion. After those vegetables are softened up a little bit, now I'm gonna add my garlic. Smells so good. peppers, onions, garlic. And once that garlic's had a little time, go ahead and add this half a pound of crawfish tails. And we got to get some seasoning on it, y'all. Going back with that Cajun King Craw. And just for good measures, a little more of that hot sauce. So y'all got to trust me on this one. This is what's going to be the cheese dip element. Now, I've got some of my buddies' Arbo's cheese dip. You can use whatever kind of white queso cheese dip you want. This one's fantastic. And I know it's got Mexican flavors, but it's gonna work with these Cajun flavors we got going on too. Let's just pour this cheese dip right on top. Cut the heat back a little. We just wanted to heat the cheese dip up, let it thin down a little bit, let it mix. Now I'm just gonna let this crawfish cheese dip hang out till we get ready for it at the end. I'm about 35 minutes in on our king cake. It's looking beautiful, kind of browning on one side. So what I'm gonna do is just take the paper here and spin it. Let's get this side brown. I've been watching it close. That 45-minute mark, it wasn't quite brown, but now after we spun it, it's brown all over. That's how you want it to look. Total cook time was 50 minutes. I'm gonna ease it off here, if I can do it without burning myself. But that is how a king cake's supposed to look once it comes off the smoker. All right, now this thing looks and smells unbelievable right now. I can smell the butteriness of those rolls, all that goodness on the inside. I know that cheese is hot and melty, but we're gonna put our crawfish cheese dip over the top. All I'm gonna do is just kind of spoon it and let it run down where it wants to go. You don't have to get super crazy with it. If there's any extra, you can always eat that as dip. Serve it with it for your guests that want a little more cheese sauce. Oh, it looks good. I'm gonna dress it up with a little bit of chopped green onion. Give it that Mardi Gras flair. And then I've got some crushed up pork rinds that I'm gonna just put on for a little crunch right over the top. Louisiana, they'd probably use some fresh cracklin. If you got those, go for it. All right, y'all, that's a thing of beauty right there. If I don't say Boudin King Cake, I don't know what does. Now, Shell and I are gonna dive into this recipe on our weekly podcast. Y'all wanna hear us talk about that? Y'all jump over to the podcast channel. Moment of truth. We got that crawfish cheese dip on top. Big bite of the Boudin. Holy smokes, there ain't nothing wrong with that. You think that ain't good, something wrong with you. The cheese dip, the little pork rind crunch, the hot Boudin, it's spicy. All those flavors go right together with that cream cheese crawfish mixture in the middle. Hey, thanks for hanging out with us today at HowToBBQRight. If you like what we're doing, subscribe to the channel. You know you can find us on all the social channels. We'll see y'all next time. I might have to move down to Louisiana after this one. They're gonna want me to do this all over the place.